What is going on, folks? I am AutoMattock, and today I will be talking about Kolin's V skill. Okay, so this is it right here. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty basic, right? There's actually a lot to it. It's a move that has a move within a move. It hits you, but it actually, before that hit, there is a window of time where if you were to attack her with anything but a special, I think, throw attacks that hit her, she will parry you and she will go into a different animation. And as you can see, there's a lot of range to this. This covers pretty much the whole mid-range area here. I know from right about here is like the max range, which is going to reach further on crouching opponents, but from about here, this is where you can use it. It's really good. Now the drawback, of course, is that it's punishable on block. -7. But I want to talk about the effects that it does have on your opponent, and when you space it well enough, it's still, even something like a Buki standing forward will be out of range to punish it. So they have to really adjust and be mindful of the move itself and how it can hit you. So as you can see, when I'm close here, standing short's gonna punish me. But if I space it right about here, it's good. Now, in fact, I can even punish her for trying to punish me. That's really Street Fighter 5-esque. But it's there. But just knowing that the possibilities of this, that you have this whole space here, where if they are trying to zone in, or if it's a character like Dawson who has to hit buttons at some point, that's part of his central game plan. He has to do that. So when you time your V skills with a little bit of psychology and a little bit of presence of mind, it's going to parry him, and it's going to give you a lot of reward, and it's going to be hard for him to punish it too. So it's such a threatening tool in that middle range for a character like Dawson. And any character that you feel like they have a program, they have a way that they will always set this up, or if your opponent has a habit that they are dedicated to doing, and you know what's happening, and if you research it, this is a really big game changer. This changes a lot about this game, and it's one of the contributing reasons why I like this character so much, is because I can interact with my opponent. But again, -7 on block, so you have to be careful where you use it. So, to give you the numbers, it has 8 frames of startup, 9 frames of parry window, and then on frames 15 and 16, that's when it actually hits you. So at best you can be -6, but that's a bit irrelevant. But let's talk about what happens if you just hit them with it. So if they're not even blocking, or you hit the recovery of something, so you kind of like, you wish punish, as they call it, +3 when it hits them, so you can actually combo off of this. This is incredible. Because not only do you get a hit confirm, you build a little bit of V gauge in the process of this. So even if they block this, you get a little bit of bar as well. So +3 on hit, you can combo into crouching jab. Crouching jab will combo into the parabellum. If you don't have meter, you can use just regular parabellum, but I would be careful with that depending on the ranges. And even, I think the best thing to do here, if you're in range, is to use strong hailstorm if you have no meter, because it leads into very interesting bits of recover both knockdowns. But yeah, if it counter hits, which I guess it shouldn't unless they do something. No, it would. Yeah, it'll counter hit. I'm thinking if it hit, it'll just hit you. But if it does counter, you can combo into standing forward and go into target combo into V skill, and that's good. So that's if it hits them without going into the property of it parrying them. The parry hit is much different. So let's say, for example, Ibuki wakes up with a button for 3-frame normal. Now, this is another thing I'll try to multitask here. You can actually time this so that it will parry both wake-ups, a normal and back recovery. Now, the problem with this is, as I was talking before, if you space it really well, you can be pretty safe. But this is not so much the case. If you're going to do it with this in mind, then you're going to be doing it up close now. If Ibuki were to block this, you can punish me all day, no problem. -7 up close is easily punishable. But if you feel strongly that your opponent is a crazy person and will mash something, if they're going to mash a reversal or a jab, this will actually cover both of those knockdowns, because it has 9 frames of parrying. You only need 4 active frames to cover both wake-ups if you're using a normal or something like that. But I can just give you a rough example here. If I do this, that's going to parry her 3-frame, and then if I do the same setup here, this should work. So it's going to cover both of them. And she does the XDP as well. I think I actually go through her, but the point is that that's what it looks like when you actually use the parry, and it can be used on their wake up, though it's unsafe to do that. But I also want to get into, well, I should just say that the knockdown here, this knockdown is actually the same thing as Hard Punch Parabellum. So you can look at the Kolin guide that I have, and I'll link that in the description below. You can look at the guide for those knockdowns. It's actually the same. 20 frames for normal recovery and 25 frames for the back recovery. So yeah, that's about that's sort of the philosophy behind using it and zoning in and understanding how much time you really have. The most important thing is to understand how your opponent thinks within their character and what their habits are, so you can use it. But I also have to point out, sometimes you have to flip that. Sometimes you have to be the person that your opponent is thinking about, and you're just doing this for no reason other than to present it and like, this is something I can do, you should be threatened by this, and make them pay attention to it. So you have to be a bit polarized on that side. So once you find out they adjust to this, what's really important is that once they are aware, and let's say your opponent is looking for this specifically, then you can just walk up to them, hit low forward, hit standing fears, dash up, grab, because now they are worried, they're concerned about something else. So once you put all the things together, that's when Kolin really has a very powerful mid-range game. And yeah, really low forward, standing fears, back roundhouse, just kind of the mobility thing, moving around. All of that is aided by her V-skill, and it's causing their opponent to hesitate with their mid-range normal. So it's a very important tool to have. And even at unsafe ranges, if you're that confident that they're going to do something, I don't disagree with you actually just putting it out there and seeing what happens. It's a very important concept. So other than that, you can use it as a combo tool. So EX Parabellum here, you have to delay it a little bit, but you can combo into it. So this is good if you are about to build V-Trigger. Not necessarily if this is going to pop the V-Trigger for you, but if the next thing you do is going to pop V-Trigger. And that's namely going to be into your target combo, because again, that will build V-Trigger on block and on hit as well. So you set them up with this, combo into this, and now when you do this, that's when your V-Trigger is going to pop. And that'll aid you in building this. And now her V-Trigger is 2 bars. It's very important that you realize, like, crush counters build V-Trigger, getting hit builds V-Trigger, white damage, her V-skill, which as you can see there's many uses for, will build it, and her target combo will build it. And she has a 2-bar V-Trigger. So if you activate your V-Trigger when you're at above half health, and you use it immediately so that you can build another one, and you keep using the same tactics, you'll get 2 V-Triggers. I want to say no problem, but I feel like she can do it much easier than most characters can. So yeah, EX Parabellum, you can combo into V-skill. It takes a bit of timing, but to be honest, I don't suggest doing that unless you're going to build V-Trigger off of it, because there's so many more powerful options you can get off of this. Like, you get the grab, you get low roundhouse into the overhead. There's many other things you can do with it that have stronger Oki. The other thing is that it just, with that in mind, it does have a juggle property, so you can also anti-air with it in the neutral jump. If they jump back OS, you can use this as a punish for that as well, and it does create a juggle state that you can super off of. So there's a couple things you can do with this. Let me go ahead and set this up. So I have him in the corner. If it hits enough times, I think if it hits twice in the corner, there's a way to set this up. There we go. And then you can super off of that. So again, there's a juggle property off of it. And the other thing that I know of you can do here is with the opponent in the air, they jump, they get hit by a hailstorm, you can catch it with the V-skill here. But this is usually something you're gonna see that's gonna be on the fly. And last but not least, I think, save knockdown, is when you counter somebody, you can use this on block. Oh, now you know what? Actually, that reminds me. That's quite a bit of things here. So let's say you're playing on the ground. You launch a hailstorm. Now, as I mentioned before, this is -7, but when the hailstorm hits them, it increases their block stun, so they're blocking more than your V-skill would generate. Therefore, you're safe on block. That actually has advantage when I do that there, but it's going to vary depending on how the hailstorm hits. So that's one thing you can do. But the other thing that I want to demonstrate with that same idea is when you parry somebody, this setup here, when you throw that Hailstorm, V skill, it will go through faster reversals. It has to be a fast reversal. I think even this jab, I will parry with the V skill. Maybe not. It might not work with this here specifically. I know they can grab me. There we go. So that's pretty good. But the other thing is that if this is gonna be interesting. Just turn it off. If Ibuki does not use a jab, okay, I don't want to wake up. That's what I'm doing here. Blocks it, then right there I have advantage still. So after I use a V skill, I have frame advantage rather than being -7. That's a huge difference, and I'm beating the 3 frame. I'm beating her reversal. I'm gaining V bar, and I have frame advantage in the end. So I think that about sums it up. Where like that's the most abusable thing you can do, but it's required off of a pretty tough. Like counters are good, and we'll talk about that in a later video. But yeah, that'll be it for today. I feel like that went on a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I appreciate you guys sticking around. I hope you learned something. You can follow me on twitter.com/AutoMattock, twitch.tv/AutoMattock. I'll be streaming a lot more often. I just got a sub button. And yeah, that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care. Peace!